Oh, hey. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Johnny Hansen, and well, these are my lofty thoughts. This is going to be episode 84. Thank you so much for joining me. And boy, if you caught the last episode, Lofty 83, I got a little bit fiery. I get fired up from time to time. I think it's righteous. I hope it's righteous. I got fired up about our government and pharmaceutical companies and the media. And I hope that I rounded out the end piece by being very excited about the future potential of, regular everyday people like myself and like myself and my buddy Andy and some of these other podcasts that can put out a competitive looking and sounding product on a budget. It's the barrier to entry is no longer I have to have a broadcast network that'll take some sort of a risk, quote unquote, on me. Meaning, do you follow the company line, goofball? And if you don't, you can't be here. Your thoughts are not wanted. Our thoughts are wanted. And I got a little fiery on that. I just wanted to kind of put one fine point on things, which is this. I think our media is just disgusting, at least corporate media. This abusive relationship, I didn't flush that out completely, but they play it with whoever gives them money, which is they make you feel bad, like something will be taken from society if we don't blindly support whatever it is that the message that they're trying to put out. So if it's the pharmaceutical companies, the line you always hear is, well, if you don't fully and give them carte blanche immunity against any sort of suit against them, then they'll never make another. And then do you want people to start dying again? Nonsense. That is complete and utter rubbish. You've been sold a lie. Why wouldn't competition still exist that would create the need for something like that? And by the way, if you're not doing nothing wrong with these vaccines, then what are you so worried about? By the way, they make so much money, but we can't do any investigations there. And they don't, even if they do investigations, nobody can be punished. When did this crap start? By the way, that's the same thing they say about, the response and all the bad ideas that came from that. Not everything was a bad idea, but there was a lot of them. And it's, we didn't know what we were doing. We didn't have any information. Now here we are years later, we realized they had tons of information. They just simply chose to ignore massive chunks of it that were inconvenient for them as they set up their own little money-making schemes, it seems to be. So that's very frustrating to me. And I probably got pretty hot about that. But I just feel like this media, now that we've finally got an opportunity here to, as individuals, to get a little buy-in and still put out a decent product, I pray that we back away from these people that we've allowed to control the airwaves for so long. I don't think we should have any of them anymore. Not anybody should step in and the government should step in or any of that crap. I don't want that. This is a free country. We should all be able to put out whatever we want to. I'm just hoping that people start to recognize the nonsense and stop buying into it. Stop watching their shows that they put out. Stop going to their crappy movies. By the way, most of these movies suck now anyways. They're regurgitated stories. Look at the highlights of this summer's blockbuster movies. Almost exclusively remakes. Even as we move into the fall, it's all these remakes. Or it's like a twist on an old story. Are you kidding me? It's all rubbish. Nobody has new ideas there. Because those are empty people that have to run it up the chain of 1,000 other approval things. And they have to prove profitability and all this nonsense. So they can't be risky at all. That's why everything's been seen before. You've heard it all before. You go see it and you go that could have been better. You go, yeah. Geez, what was lacking there? Imagination, new thought, new ideas. But it's sad because everybody keeps watching it and giving them money or it'd be gone already. So I'm encouraging people here on this small little signal that I'm putting out. You don't have to contribute to that. Don't pay for things. Don't pay people that hate you, that don't follow your ideas and don't have your goodwill in mind. It's just an encouragement. So there's the rant of the day. Maybe not the only one. Who's to say? But I do want to talk about Andrew Jackson, 7th president. Last time, correction time. I believe I said 8th president on the last pod. He was the 7th president. This guy was a maniac. He was a hot temper. They called him something like the sturdy elm. This guy, all right. I got to back this up here because I was going to talk about it last time, but I got too fired up. Was it 2 times ago? For God's sakes, Johnny, can we stick with the program? How many times ago? Was it 3 full episodes back? No. Goodness. Sorry. Thought I had this thing. So what's so nuts is he was involved in a minimum of 13 written about individual duels, shooting people because he had a disagreement with them. I challenge you, sir. They'd slap him with those little gloves across the face. They go, I'll see you tomorrow at high noon. We'll take 10 steps. We'll turn and we'll shoot each other with crappy pistols. This guy was so nuts. He did that minimally 13 times, but speculatively, as many as 103 pistol fights. There is not a death count for this guy because they didn't keep track like that back then. But he certainly killed a fella named Charles Dickinson, not to be confused with the English writer Charles Dickens, not him, a different guy. And apparently Andrew, Mr. Jackson, former president guy, assumed that Charles Dickinson's father made a off-colored comment about his wife, Andrew's wife. And Andrew said, sir, I challenge you to a duel. But that guy was an old guy, so his son stepped in and said, sir, you will fight me then. And apparently Andrew Jackson knew that this Charles Dickinson was a hell of a shot. So they meet up the next day, as this was known to go. They meet up, and he says, Mr. Dickinson, you, sir, shall fire first. Literally, that was a terrible accent. God, I'm so bad at that. I'm so sorry. I should never even try to. I don't know how I find myself halfway through some dumb accent. Too often it happens. It's disgusting. I need to work on that. I'm working on that. But he says to this guy, you can shoot first. Excuse me? I thought we turned our backs to each other. We each walked 10 paces. We turned and shot each other. Now we're just going to walk apart from each other, stand facing each other, and this psychopath is going to say, go ahead and shoot me. This sounds like a very suicidal man. Maybe it was having at least a 13-person dueling count. He said, and by the way, he's clearly suicidal of some sort, or just so nuts that he thinks he's invincible or something. He had been shot multiple other times. It wasn't like he was unfamiliar with the pain of getting shot. When he died, there was multiple bullets inside of him that they couldn't retrieve out because they didn't have the kind of technology, clearly, that we have now in the 1800s. This psychopath, I know I'm going to keep saying it, but it's so nuts. He goes, no. You go ahead and get that 10 paces out, and you shoot me, and that's how we're going to do this thing. And dude goes, yeah, okay. So he walks his 10 paces. Boom, he shoots Andrew Jackson, who gets hit in the chest with a bullet. It knocks him down. He then gets back up and says, nice try. Now it's my turn. And he shoots and kills this other. Charles Dickinson gets killed, gets shot through the freaking heart and dies. Look around. Andrew Jackson is on some of our money. That is the people who we have decided in this country should be president. This guy for sure is a killer. Now, hey, listen, if you're in the military, you got to kill somebody. That's how it has to be. By the way, somebody breaks in your house, you might have to kill them too. I'm saying there's plenty of reasons to kill people. I'm saying this guy found himself in a suspicious amount of adulthood, because you don't duel when you're 7 years old in the old times. You still had to be an adult. I have not been in 13 physical fights in my adult life. Have you? I asked Andy, how many fights have you been in? And he described 2 sort of pushes on fellas that were out of line, but never a fight. And in fact, I've asked a few other men, they're like, what? No. So not everybody fights in their adulthood. I've maybe had a few. I don't want to talk about them, but it's rare to have 13. You should check yourself. Like a lot. You should check yourself. And the fact that they were all pistol fights, this guy's nuts, I think. That's my opinion, and probably most people's opinion. And then if he had 103, he is a super serial killer. If how many of those people did he kill? It's hard to find, too. You can't get any good data on that. For some reason, they didn't track it. Maybe somebody else has it out there and go, hey, you're an idiot. Sure, fine. Just that amount of it is so nuts to me. So that is as lofty as I could get, is like Andrew Jackson, 7th president. He's on your money. Look him up. Everybody thinks the government thought enough of him to put him on some of the money, or maybe he held a gun to somebody else's head and said, I'm going to be on this bill, or I'll find somebody else that'll put me on it. But that's real. That happened. Lofty number 2. Oh, yeah, this is a celebratory time. Andy and I, my good buddy Andy Lamb, and myself, Johnny Hansen, we have a podcast called The Untrained Philosophical Discussionists. And on that podcast, we talk about being Christian men in this day and age, modern Christian men. And we try to encourage folks on submitting themselves to Christ and giving over what we assume are, a harder way of life than the way we've found. And we went through a lot of hard things, both him and I, and we had these paths that were away from God, and they sucked. Mine certainly did. His sounds like it did pretty bad too. And we had a lot of failed relationships because of it. So really, in the UPD podcast, which is what we call it, we go about trying to unpack big ideas on the way things were for us and the way things are now with Christ. And it's an awesome podcast. Gosh, we have so much fun there. I'm so excited about each episode. We do series, and we unpack these huge ideas, I think. And we're very considerate. We spend a lot of time on those, and then we put them out. And Andy has taken over doing a bunch of stuff on TikTok and YouTube and Instagram and all those places. Itchy knows someone's thinking about me. Who is it? Is it you? Thank you. Appreciate you, thinking about me from time to time. We put those out. Andy puts those out, and we've had a couple of massive viral hits, which is like hundreds of thousands of views for just a tiny little video that we made. And gosh, that's really exciting. It's a bit like, admittedly, it's like being at the casino and putting $10 in a slot machine. Now, after the first one happened, it's like, ooh, how do we get that to happen again? You got $10? Yeah, throw that in that machine. Let's see if we can make it do that cool thing again. Nope. And the house always wins if you know anything about gambling. House always wins. Or they wouldn't put those machines in there. So we'd try a few, and then boom, another one hit. And it's exciting. And it feels good because we went about, when we started the podcast, we weren't sure what we were trying to do. Through time, we realized that God had taken over, and he wanted a podcast, and he wanted us to host it, but he had some ideas he wanted us to discuss, and we've turned it over to him completely in submission. It took some time. It was probably 17 episodes of garbage. We deleted those in a way, deleted them off of sites. And we've started from like episode 8. So we deleted 10 already because that's kind of a rule if you're ever going to start a podcast, and maybe you out there want to and should. I think it's awesome. I think everybody's got great, cool ideas, and you should do whatever the heck you want to, what you feel inspired to do. I'm always encouraging people that way if I can. But after 10 episodes and deleting them, we realized, geez, it's still pretty not good, especially this guy who had a severe swear problem. I just couldn't stop doing it. Some of them were so absurd. I tried to edit out some of the F words, and at like 37 in the first episode, it was like every other utterance from my mouth was beep, 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 and it'd be double beeps and triple beeps. this effing effer, he effed this thing up. Mother effer. I was like, what is, And thankfully, Andy, in an intelligent way, inspired by God, I believe, he said, man, you could do better, because that's kind of lazy. And boy, did he know that that would hit my heart. Sure did, because I don't like being considered lazy at all. I'm a hard worker, I believe. And I can do better, and I've attempted through many measures to be better, and don't swear on there at all, and relatively swear significantly less just in life, I think, because I don't want to be assumed to be less than what I can be. So I want to just give us a shout out. I guess that was a long way about giving a little shout out to the Untrained Philosophical Discussionist podcast, and to everybody out there listening to it and supporting it and sending it on to other folks. And just that success there has just been so awesome. It really lets us know that, like, we're on track. And I think God put his fingers on the scales on that one to really move some hearts. So we're excited about that. Thank you, Jesus. Okay. Boy, getting right back to what's going on in the world. Okay, well, they had a very good deal at the Firestone down the road from my house for a oil change, full synthetic, $50. That's 5 quarts, and I have a full-size truck, so it's 8 quarts, so I had to pay a little more than the $50, but it was way less than I would have had to pay anywhere else to get the same work done. And while I was there, I knew that I needed some tires too. So I was getting those tires, and the guy said, it should be about an hour and a half. No. It was 5 hours. At about hour 3, I called my wife and said, this is intolerable. I've been watching the Andy Griffith Show for 6 full episodes. Now, the first episode I watched, it was cute. And I was like, oh, gosh, what a throwback. I wonder what it was like to watch this stuff around that time. And, boy, this sure feels a little more wholesome than a lot of the other crap on now. And, boy, that's kind of funny. He lived with his aunt, whatever that means. And the aunt had a date that night, and the guy that she dated was nuts. He was like a jokester. It was crazy. And then episode 2 happens. I'm like, okay, is there anything else to do around here? I walk over to the grocery store because I got an hour and a half, and I come back and they're not done yet. And again, hour 3, it's like, okay, what are we doing here? The guy's like, I'm sorry, it's so busy here. Okay. Gosh, it was so difficult just to continue being there. And my back started hurting, just sitting in that crappy chair, fold out chair. They didn't have any coffee or anything either. I don't know why. It was not good. I didn't plan this well. I thought an hour and a half I can just sit tight, but anything longer than that, clearly I cannot. My body's too old to sit in those crappy chairs for that long. Maybe I've always been someone who can't sit in a chair like that long, because when I was in school, you sit in a chair for like 7 hours as a kid. What is that? Ugh. I couldn't do it then either. I still can't do it, I guess is more what I'm saying. Anyway, I'm watching the TV. The first commercial that comes on is for this. It starts out like this. It says, has your antidepressant stopped working, but you still want to be on your antidepressant? Well, we have good news for you. There's a new pill called Rexulti. What? Excuse me? Are you happy with your antidepressant but unhappy with the effects of your antidepressant? If so, take this other antidepressant pill like super steroid? What is this? And then following that, well, I'm like dumbfounded, and they're explaining the side effects, and they're all awful. Obviously higher feelings of suicide, contact your doctor, and sleeplessness. Boy, you ever not slept for a while? It really starts to make you feel depressed, actually, because your brain doesn't work properly, and for sure you're not producing the right chemicals then after that. And who the hell is still happy with their antidepressant that's not working, but they love the title of it or something? It was very confusing, and I don't know what they're doing there. Are you still happy with your medicine, but it's not doing what it's supposed to do? Your answer should be no. No, I'm not happy with this thing that's not doing what it's supposed to do. I'm going to find something else. Not I'm going to now take another pill on top of the pill Can I suggest possibly some of you people out there, not everyone, pills are not the solution. This pill that you're taking, you're still unhappy. How long have you been taking it for that it's not working? Is this years? Are you decades into this pill and now it's not? They've given you such a high dose now that it's impossible to give you more of it. Now we got to supercharge it with this other thing. By the way, this was one of 2 separate ones that are now available because it's now Rexulti and Vraylar. 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 And it says the same bloody thing. I think it's 2 separate manufacturers are putting out this crap. Do you still love to say that I'm on this thing to all your friends? Because they give you some sort of sympathy points. That's all I can imagine. I'm not saying people don't get depressed. I'm not saying people shouldn't take something when they are depressed if it works. I'm saying, are you so freaking nuts and so captured by the commercialization and maybe some sort of Munchausen syndrome that you're stuck in this world of like, I've been saying that I'm on Lexapro for so long. Boy, I just sure need some. I never want to tell people I'm off of it because, everybody knows me as the person that's on Lexapro. So I'll just start taking some Rexulti too. Yeah, I had to supercharge my Lexapro with some Rexulti, Donna. Yeah, I'll take a second glass of wine. The second commercial, by the way, right after this one was Smirnoff. I swear the woman from the antidepressant commercial looked like the woman in the Smirnoff commercial, just having a better time. She's at the club, still kind of dead face though. She's listening. She's at the club and they go, and she gets her drink, and you can't drink alcohol on TV. So I always just have the drink. Yeah, girls. Dead faced. Because she's got her, you can't drink on these pills, but she's doing it anyways because who cares? They're not really working. Maybe she hasn't even gotten her Rexulti yet. She's just still on the only Lexapro, and she's like, this thing doesn't even work. Might as well get wasted. People, wake up. Wake up. By the way, there was a research report that came out that it doesn't do what they said it does. Now, that doesn't mean that it doesn't do anything. But they always thought it was a serotonin uptake inhibitor, meaning it would give you more serotonin in your brain so you'd get to a better place. It turns out that's not the case. Look it up. It came out last year. It does something else because people that take it do feel different. I don't know that difference is good, but they feel different. Maybe difference is good for somebody. I think we live in a society where if you don't feel good for a minute, you better just take something so you don't have to deal with that not feeling good thing. That freaks me out. I'm not saying that's everybody, okay? Let's be clear here. If you have serious mental issues, consult your doctor. By the way, I'm clearly not a doctor. I'm just giving you an opinion. This is an opinion show. It's called Thoughts. We're still allowed to have those in this great country called America, and I'm just having them a little feistier than normal these last couple, but I feel like this is bananas. So they have the Smirnoff commercial, and they're partying. And this is the God's honest truth. The third commercial is then for Prilosec, which is a stomach tablet. So is your antidepressant not working? Supercharge it with a secondary antidepressant, and then we're going to shoot you up with some vodka, and you'll get a party life going. And then finally, is your stomach all screwed up because you're taking pills all day and drinking vodka? We got a solution there too. Through the medical industry, we've got Prilosec. And you can take this little pill. By the way, when I was a kid, it was called ranitidine. And it turns out ranitidine causes cancer if you take it for a very long time. So these same pharmaceutical companies are now kicking out the next thing. I don't know if it's the same company, but how many are there? It seems like there's just a few, right? Yeah. And what it is that one's turning out to not be as great. Let's slowly but quietly tuck that one away. They took it off the shelves. You can't buy ranitidine anywhere anymore, but you can certainly buy Prilosec. And I just wait for the day where they go, yeah, that Prilosec's not working either. And then they'll get the next thing in there. And hopefully by then, says the pharmacy company, you'll be on your 15th antidepressant. You'll take 800 you'll just keep shooting those into your, I don't know, the veins of your foot at that point in time, because I don't know you'll have any veins left anywhere else if that's where they shoot this stuff. I don't even know what they do with it. I wouldn't want any. I don't take that crap. I've got a very healthy body because, praise God, our household, we exercise, we eat fairly healthy. We have a lot of stuff to do here on a ranch. There's just tons of stuff to do. Yes, it's just a hobby ranch. It's not huge, but we have animals and we have a lot of landscaping to do. And there's just a lot of work when you have acreage. And then I have good friends who also encourage and work and work hard. Like my buddy Andy gets up early in the morning and hits a gym. That's kind of, in a healthy diet and stuff like that. And you try to do the best you can. You cheat sometimes. You have a good time. I love to have a good time. Love to eat. Love treats. Gosh, I love to have a nice dessert. So all those things in moderation, it seems to be all right. Sometimes you got to make some sacrifices so that you have better health. But we live in this goofball pill society where 2 out of 3 commercials in pill and are pills to take because of some sort of something you're taking. Some other thing has screwed up your body's ability to regulate things properly. Can we at least get there? Can we get there, people? And then finally, again, not everybody. And then finally, the third commercial, and then it went right back to Andy Griffith's show, Smirnoff. Just some vodka, in just case there's, but it's a party. Drink some vodka, it's a party. Hey, girls, dead-faced. There's never any joy in the eyes anymore. You notice that on TV? You notice the actresses and the actors? There's like some new thing where you just take all the joy out of your face. You smile, but like it never quite reaches your eyes. Yuck. Wake up, people. God, I'm so... yeah. Well, yeah. I've fallen down a conspiracy hole. It feels like there's a concerted effort to try to fix the gaping hole in our society right now with pharmacy drugs or alcohol or these substitutes that are clearly not working. They're not working so much that they have to put them on steroids to even get an effect anymore. Might I suggest that the gaping hole in your life is the God of the universe trying to reach out to you in his way, which is to say, you are not sufficient without me. And that's the hole inside of you. And that when you confront that reality and you submit yourself to him and you say, what do you have for me? He will free you of the burden that is the discomfort inside. Not instantly, because he's not a genie. You don't ask him for that. He meets you in that place and walks with you and journeys with you back out to a place of peace and serenity. And even if I sound crazy, I'm having a blast. It's so awesome. Or if I sound angry, whatever, I'm excitable. I'm a enthusiastic fella. And my enthusiasm comes through speaking quickly or fast or directly. But I'm happy and I feel like everything's great and we got a great family and I got great friends. And I'm just so grateful to that God of the universe for stepping in when my void was massive. And I'd tried to fill it up with every other thing. And I encourage you to try it too. And it's real easy to do. You just got to say, hey, God, you're in control and I'm not. And I submit to you. What do you have for me? And get ready for a journey to start. There it is. That's Lofty 84. Gosh. Thank you so much for joining me. I got some other stuff we're going to talk about. I still got a few things. I got a review on something. I've given reviews on my boots before. I love Wolverine boots. God, they're so good. If you don't have any, you should pick some up. They're great. I work on the ranch all the time and they hold up. I got a review of something else tomorrow. And I've got some more government stuff to talk about. That's pretty interesting. That'll be fiery, maybe, hopefully. I like this. It's fun for me. I think it's awesome. And I like the way people interact with like hot government stuff that's not stupid about, I don't like this president because of this. This is like real people who've really done stuff. So this is stuff that's already happened, and it's interesting, or like we're going through it, and it feels like it can be from any party, anybody that's involved in these things. So this is more of like the movement of the beast. We're tracking the movement of the beast through our governmental facilities because it's all over. How's that? Gosh, thank you so much for joining me. My name's Johnny Hanson. These were my lofty thoughts. I want to leave you by praying that you have a deep and a fulfilling relationship with Jesus, and that he blesses you all the days of your life. Have an awesome afternoon. Thanks again.